Imagine a three-dimensional coordinate system where age and relationship status define the ground plane, and sexual desire represents the vertical axis of altitude. In this space, gender acts as a fundamental structural separator. Instead of a single cloud of data, we find two parallel hyperplanes. The male hyperplane sits consistently at a higher altitude, a translation vector that remains rigid across almost every demographic quadrant. This is not a subtle variation. It represents an effect size that suggests deep-seated biological and socio-cultural foundations are pulling these two planes apart, creating a structural gender gap that persists regardless of age or occupation. The trajectories of time. As we traverse the age axis, these hyperplanes do not remain flat. They warp into distinct manifolds. The male manifold exhibits a parabolic trajectory, arching upward to a midlife peak in the late 30s and early 40s. It is a resilient curve that resists the gravitational pull of aging until well into middle adulthood. The female manifold follows a monotonic, continuous descent. It is a steady, downward-sloping surface that reveals a persistent reduction in desire over time, with a marked acceleration in the downward tilt past age 50. Force fields and coordinate shears. The landscape is further modified by local force fields, domestic and socio-economic variables that stretch and shear the planes. The parity vector. The number of children acts like a polarizing force. For women, each additional child functions as a drag vector, pulling their manifold downward. Conversely, for men, higher parity is associated with a positive slope adjustment, causing the two manifolds to tilt away from each other and widening the gender gap with every child. The academic wedge. Educational attainment acts as a geometric wedge. At lower educational coordinates, the gender planes are compressed closer together. As we move toward higher academic tiers, master's or doctoral degrees, the planes are pushed further apart, expanding the vertical distance between the two baselines. The asexual anomaly. This is perhaps the most striking structural event in the space. In the asexual coordinate cluster, the standard gender separation collapses. The structural gender gap vanishes as both male and female coordinates are compressed downward into a shared low-altitude abyss, effectively flattening the geometric topography that exists elsewhere in the population. The socio-empirical context. When we zoom out to view this analysis alongside other research, such as daily diary studies on stress and intimacy or neurobiological markers of early adversity, we see that the dataset provides the macro map of human sexuality. While intensive, small-scale studies, like this study on gay men, capture the rapid, volatile weather patterns of daily life, the analytics reveal the underlying tectonic plates, the structural, demographic, and biological forces that define the baseline coordinates of human desire.